If all of a sudden you start to see wraps of money in your bedroom, like in your wardrobe, under your pillow, or as a business person, you start to see extra cartons of goods you didn't buy, and the goods are usually the latest design of the product you sell, what will you do? Will you go on a journey to know the person or spirit behind your increase? Or you would sit back, relax, and enjoy your wealth? Let's see how this played out in Cheta's story. In the city of Lagos lived a couple, Cheta and Emeka. From the onset, their marriage was not a sweet one. It's been tough. Cheta is a very hardworking young woman who did her best in taking care of her husband and two children, but her husband Emeka was a very lazy man. He doesn't want to do anything to provide for his family. All he does is wake up every morning and carry his certificate from one office to the other in search of a job. He has spent the last 7 years searching for a job but didn't find any. Although the problem wasn't that he didn't see jobs, but as a first-class degree holder, he had a dream. He says he should be working in a big company, in a very big office with good salary and a personal car. Years passed and he didn't see what he wished for. His wife tried to start up businesses for him, but he would eat the whole money and start staying at home. Cheta was exhausted and frustrated. She needed help with running the family. Her shoe business was suffering terribly because her husband had refused to work, leaving all the family expenses for her. Cheta struggled and bought a tricycle for him, popularly known as keke napep. Emeka was the one that asked for the keke napep. He told his wife that he would prefer to ride it than do any other low-paying job, but he would sleep till 8 a.m. every day. Immediately Cheta leaves the house with the children, Emeka continues to sleep. On days that Emeka managed to leave the house in the morning, he would go to any booker around and eat every little money he made. In 2 months of driving the tricycle, he made no profit, and then the tricycle was stolen. Cheta wept bitterly. One day, Cheta had gone to her shop. After the day's sales, she came home tired and exhausted. The door was locked from inside. She knocked and knocked, but there was no response till she broke the door and screamed. Her husband was lying lifeless on the floor. He was eating the food that Cheta had left for him before going to the market. Cheta cried and screamed, "My world has ended, oh! What do I tell people that happened to Emeka?" His family accused Cheta of taking his life. "I am innocent! I am innocent!" she cried. She was made to sleep in the same room with him for 2 days before his burial. She survived, and that was the conviction his family needed to be sure she was innocent. Cheta moved back to the city with her children and continued with her business. At first, it was hard, and in order to erase her husband's memory, she moved to another house with her kids. As she did her business, she started to notice some changes. Her customers increased by the day. She recorded many sales daily. Each time she restocks, it doesn't take up to 2 days for the goods to finish. Business was flowing massively. She got a warehouse for her goods. One day, something unimaginable happened to Cheta. She had gone to the market and bought lots of goods. Her goods arrived, and as they were offloading and cross-checking, she saw so many beautiful designs of footwear that she didn't order or pay for. In fact, she couldn't even remember seeing any of those designs at the supplier's warehouse. What happened? Where are all these shoes from? She asked, shocked. What is all this? The next morning, The first customer that came to her shop showed that design as what she wanted. That customer requested 50 cartons. Cheta was very sure that what they counted the previous day was 23 cartons of that particular footwear. But to her greatest surprise, her boys went to the warehouse and brought 50 cartons. They even told her that there was more of it in the warehouse. The customer paid for his goods and left. Cheta became scared. What is happening? The fear in her didn't allow her go to the warehouse and see things for herself. This continued. Goods continued to multiply uncontrollably. Her shop became the one-stop shop for different shoe designs in the market. She automatically became the vendor's vendor, the biggest wholesaler in the market. Designs you get in her store cannot be seen anywhere in the market. She started living large. She built houses, bought cars, sent her children to big schools. One peculiar thing about Cheta is that she's a very kind woman. Her kindness to people around her is so much. She treated her boys well. They are always happy whenever she is around. Despite the wickedness her in-laws melted out on her while her husband was alive and how they accused her of killing him, she extended her kindness to them. She took up the full responsibility of her mother-in-law's medical bills and provided for the entire family. What surprised Cheta the most is how none of her boys have noticed this outrageous multiplication of goods in her warehouse. She had always expected them to say something about it, but none of them did. She had also feared that her co-wholesalers in the market would approach her or ask where she gets her goods from, but none of them did. One thing she is sure of is that whatever it is that is responsible for her massive growth also did a good job at blinding the eyes of people around her from asking questions. At some point, Cheta's fears increased. When the increase moved from her goods to money, she would open her wardrobe and see stacks of cash. She would open her bedside cupboard and see wraps of money. Whenever she casually says she needed money to sort out one or two issues, she would wake up the next morning to wraps of money under her pillow. The money was so much and she didn't know what to do with it again. My dear viewers and listeners, what will you do if you find yourself in Cheta's situation? Cheta became the helper of the helpless. People with different life issues came to her for help. She built a big school in her village, dug borehole for them, constructed roads, built a hospital and named it after her. A lot of homeless people were given shelter and food. Cheta was recognized far and wide for her kindness and work of mercy. The once poor widow, now a wealthy philanthropist. Cheta became worried. She knew it was time for her to go in search of the source of the money and massive increase. She was scared of confiding in anyone because, human beings cannot be trusted. She visited an old woman known for her spiritual powers of seeing the present, past, and future. The old woman welcomed her, and after discussing her worries to the old woman said to her, "My dear child, I know you are worried about the strange things happening in your life, but you don't have to be, because the person behind your increase only means well for you and your children. Mama, I know, but I really want to know the spirit or person behind it." The old woman looked at Cheta and asked, "Are you sure you want to know the person?" "Yes, Mama," Cheta answered. Then the old woman brought out a mirror and after doing her incantations, gave it to Cheta and told her to hold it tight and look directly at it and to never look back if she ever hears a voice speaking. Cheta held the mirror tight and after a few seconds, what she saw in the mirror shocked her. It was Emeka, her husband. Emeka looked at her as tears dropped from his eyes. He apologized to her for causing her so much pain. Cheta, my wife, you were so good and kind to me as a good wife should, but I frustrated your life and made our marriage a living hell for you. After my death, I had an opportunity to be around the living, and all I asked for was to be able to help my wife have a better and a stress-free life. This is the best I can do after putting you through a lot throughout our years together. Despite all my family did to you, you made money and started taking care of them. It shows how much kindness you have in your heart. Cheta, please forgive me for all the pain I caused you. Thank you for all you did for me. Thank you for taking care of me and our kids. Take care of yourself and the kids for me. I love you now and always. Cheta couldn't believe her eyes. Her hands were shaking as the old woman quietly collected the mirror from her. So he cared after all, she said to herself. For years, I have harbored so much pain and anger for the man I married because of how miserable he made my life. Emeka, I never knew you cared so much. I forgive you. Thank you for coming to my rescue when you had the chance. Thank you for not allowing life to deal with me and our kids. The old woman looked at Cheta, held her hands and said to her, my child, I am glad that you didn't relax and keep enjoying the wealth you didn't know is source. Now you can forgive your husband and live a better and happier life. Cheta went home feeling relieved and better, with the thought of her husband filling her face with smiles. As she got home and entered her bedroom, right in the middle was a big box. She opened it. The box was filled with, guess what, my listeners and viewers? Money. Moral lesson. The story of Cheta and Emeka teaches the importance of treating one's partner right. Emeka got the second chance to correct his mistakes, but you might not have the chance. So, treat your partner with love, kindness, and compassion. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you are coming across my channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to my channel to support my growth. And to my subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate. I do not take your kindness for granted. Do not forget to on your notification bell for more interesting stories from Amaka's folk tales. Bye bye.